This is how you do acrylic nails from start to finish. You're going to push back your customer's cuticles, and then you're going to use a ballpoint diamond bit. You're going to exfoliate around the cuticle line, and then you're going to use a fine sanding band. The sanding band is to remove shine from the lifting danger zone. If your customers are going to lift, it's going to lift right from this area right here. As per the rest of the nail, you're going to remove the shine using a hand buffer. And the reason we're doing this is because we don't want to thin out the nail. This is a lot less abrasive. And the next step would be to remove the cuticles or any dry callus skin. Me personally, I just push it back with my finger, and then holding my nipper flat against the skin, I just nip it off. I don't remove a lot. I try to keep this part pretty simple. Next, we're going to glue on our nail tips. I apply a small droplet of nail glue directly to the natural nail. Then I use my nail tip, like the actual corner of it, and I spread that glue from left to right. And then I apply the tip directly to the free edge, making sure not to cover too much of the natural nail. That can actually cause lifting. Your nail tip should be applied directly to the tip of the nail, or the free edge. Now I use a scissor to cut and shape my nails. I don't use a tip cutter, and I don't buy pre-shaped tips. I just go ahead and cut to the desired length and repeat that process for all 10 fingers. As far as making sure that all of the nails are the same length, I just compare them to each other. Now in this case, I wanted to do almond nails, and I'm not about to buy almond tips, so I just cut them. Now you technically can't cut it into an almond, but you can kind of start the process and then finish it by hand with a hand file. Now this is a little bit of an old school thing, but again, I'm not about to buy a whole bunch of pre-shaped tips, and I don't think you should either. It's just a waste of money and a waste of space. As for the file that you're going to use, I use a 100/180 grit file. I don't like my files to be too abrasive either. Now we're going to bring out that fine sanding band yet again and just start blending that tip down. This helps to make your acrylic application a lot smoother. You could also use a hand file for this, but I just use my drill and my buffer just to finish it off. There's more than one way to do this. This is simply a preference. You can also use the buffer underneath the tip to remove that like plastic residue. And then you prime. And you don't need a lot of primer. You just want to saturate the natural nail. There's no need to apply primer to the nail tip. You can if you want to, but it literally has no benefits. Some nail technicians also like to use a dehydrator. Me personally, I don't use a dehydrator, I just use primer. I'm a very simple nail technician, and my work doesn't get any lifting. Now this is the acrylic application process. Now I'm not going to go too detailed on this part just because explaining this vividly would be a whole 20 to 30 minute video. Now me personally, I prefer to do this in 3 pearls, although some nail technicians like doing a 1 pearl method. For beginners, I find that that's probably going to be a little more difficult, so I'm just going to keep it simple for you guys. My first pearl, I apply it from the free edge down. I try to get it as smooth as possible, but if it comes out lumpy and bumpy, which yours probably will, and that's me assuming that you're learning, that's okay, we'll file that later. My second pearl will be right above that one. I apply it and simply try to smooth it out the best that I can. Again, you're not going to get this right on the first time, and that's totally okay. If it comes out lumpy and bumpy, don't stress it. And then you're going to do your third pearl right by the cuticle area. The only thing I will say is that if you get a little bit of acrylic on the skin, just use your brush and try to clean it up. And again, if it comes out lumpy and bumpy, that's totally okay, because in this video, I'm going to show you how to shape and file that down. You want a perfect end result, not a perfect process. And here's what it looks like finished. And now we're going to start shaping this bad boy. Now the shaping, this is what matters. So what I like to do is use my nail drill with a cylinder carbide bit, just to simply get around the cuticle area and debulk. Now what I mean by debulk is kind of like filing down all the lumps and bumps, because again, your acrylic application doesn't have to be perfect. That's what you have your nail drill for, and your hand file for, and your buffer for. All of these tools are going to help you get that perfect finished look. Some of you guys might be scared to use a nail drill, but here's the thing. If you buy a nail drill bit and it's a metal carbide one like the one I'm using right now, just pass it over a file. That way it's not sharp and you're a lot less likely to actually cut your customer. Well, or yourself. You're actually a lot more likely to cut somebody with a hand file than you are a nail drill in my experience. But anyway, so what you're gonna do now is use your hand file to refine the edges. Now make sure to get over and under because you don't want to miss anything. Now this is my favorite part, the buffer. This is a lot more important than what people actually realize, because if you don't give the nail a good buffing, your top coat's going to look pretty crusty. Anyway, after buffing, you're going to apply your cuticle oil. Then your customer's going to wash their hands, and if you want, you can polish or design the nail. Me personally, I'm going to keep these simple, a few little stickers for my customer, and a few little crystals that I went and bought from Michael's. Now, if you're a nail art nail technician, you can start designing the nails. But again, I'm pretty much a very simple nail technician. This was my customer's final result, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Now, if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave a comment below. And make sure to follow my other social media pages to keep up with the rest of my work.